We're going to be looking at Outlook next as one of our applications that we are covering within the Microsoft Education portfolio. Maybe I can just ask with a show of hands, who's worked with Outlook before? I think most people have, because I don't want to bore people and show them how to send an email. Look at the less well-known features of Outlook. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing my screen again. Okay. All right, so we are back to our comfortable and familiar place, which is in any browser with office.com. We get to our portal, our Office 365 portal, where we can access all of our applications. And now we are going to be looking at our Outlook. Okay, so Outlook is the email and calendaring application for Microsoft. It's probably the best known application of everything. I think nobody has not worked with Outlook in some form or manner in the past. So I'm going to do it very high level because I think most people are familiar with it. We'll just be looking at education specific activities that can be done. So obviously Outlook, we can at any time generate a new email by clicking on new message. This can be found right at the top on the left hand side. New message will give you the ability to write a message to your recipients. So this can be any email address, if it's a Gmail or a Yahoo or Hotmail. But for purposes of education, you'd want to possibly write emails to your class. So here, what is really nice, and this is one of the features that the other mail platforms don't really have. When I click on the to button, then I get access to my contacts, general contacts, a global address list. So if there is like your global address will list all of the people that are in your organization. It will also give you access to rooms. This is a really nice feature if you've got like different physical classrooms that you want to book. You can book those physical classrooms. You get access to all users, all distribution lists, all contacts, groups, and then offline and public folders. What is nice about the distribution list is you'll see that it gives you options here to send to the entire organization or to a specific class. So or a specific subject. So as soon as we have created a channel, we are able to now send to all of the people that have been associated to that channel. We can send a group email. We don't need to go and type in the individual emails, which is really nice. Very important here is the to button. If we're using email, to button is you write to the people you want a response from. So if you're writing to one person and you only need the other people in the communication on a need to know basis, don't put everyone in the to field. CC, there you put the people that's just in a need to know basis. BCC, you put people that are blind copied. So the recipient is not able to see who was in the BCC BCC section. Then subject is obviously the heading or the topic of your communication. And then obviously you can type your email, and you'll see here at the bottom all the familiar features that you get from across all the applications, all the formatting, all the fonts, the pictures, the attaching of the file, and so forth. You can also encrypt this message. If you navigate your eyes to the top, just after the send button, there's again an attach button where you can attach files, but you can also encrypt it, which means that recipients can't remove the encryption. It is a secure communication. And then if you want to delete it, obviously you can disregard it. And the three little buttons give you more options to save it. If you don't want to send it now, you want to send it later, can save draft, you can make your own signature. You can show from set importance. How important is it? Is it high, normal, or low, this message? You can show message options. So you can request if you want to know that people have received it. Then you click the request a read receipt. Then you'll get an email back saying they have read it, or just that it's been delivered. In other words, it's landed in their inbox, but they've not read it yet. So if you really want to make sure someone got it, you tick both of those. And then you can also indicate the sensitivity. Is it a normal? Is it a personal, private, or a confidential email? Okay, so that is relatively simple. 1 second, my apologies. Okay, so that's basically the email functionality. What is built in now, which is really nice, if you navigate your eyes to the top right-hand side, then you will see there is a Meet Now button there, and this will enable you to start a video conference with the people directly from Outlook, which is really nice. Then you can click on the Meet Now button. Next to it's also the messaging button. So this will give you in your chat section of Teams. It will then type this message. You see it takes me directly to my Teams, and in my chat button, I am then able to chat directly from my Outlook application. You'll see there's a handy link to the OneNote feed, again at the top right. So if you've got a OneNote that you want to have attached to this communication, you can do so. And then what's also nice is you can see your to-do tasks for the day. It takes you to your calendar where you can add tasks. So if you've got assignments that you want the students to do and you want to help them, remind them, you can add it to their calendar as a to-do task. Okay. And then obviously the activity section where you can be able to see if there are any notifications that require your attention. Okay, so that's basically setting up an email. If I can take your eyes back to the left-hand side of the screen, you've got your pinned tabs, which firstly we are in email now, but the next one is your calendar tab. This opens your calendar, and this is the same as we saw in Teams. The Teams calendar and the Outlook calendar are in sync. They're in synchronization. So anything you schedule in your Teams calendar will show up in your Outlook calendar. Anything you schedule from your Outlook calendar will show up in your Teams calendar. So you see we've got some time slots already booked out for specific actions in this calendar. It's super easy to create a new event. If you navigate your eyes to the top left-hand side, you click on new event, and here you are, just like from your team site, you're able to add a title, invite attendees. Here you can obviously invite a group like the maths group here, or an individual. So if it's a class that you want to schedule this way, you can do that. Add the title, we'll just do a maths class for demonstration purposes. And then at the bottom or just below the attendee section, you'll see there you can schedule the date and the time. You can schedule the repeat. So is it a daily or a weekly class or an exam or test, whatever you want to put in there. And then at the bottom, it's obviously a description. It's always a good idea to put in a description for recipients in case they don't know what they're being invited to. So if you navigate your eyes to the top again, to the send button, you can then send this. You can discard it. The scheduling assistant is really handy to know, because then it will look at what the other people's calendars look like. So you don't double book people or a group, which is really nice, is using the scheduling assistant. It just avoids all the back and forth in terms of, no, this time won't suit me. I've got a clashing class at that time. So very handy to have. Then you can also indicate next to scheduling assistant, there is a section where you can indicate how it should show up in your calendar. Is it free time? So you can even book free time if it's your lunch break. You can book that as free time if you're working off location, tentative, busy, away, or if it is a private event that you'll be attending.
Hi,
Okay.
Vanessa. I don't
Hi,
know if it's
Fari.
just me, but my screen is not showing what you're showing, what you're
Oh dear.
talking. Let me see.
Okay. Okay, let me try again. My apologies. How long have you not been seeing what I've been not seeing?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Are you able to see now?
Yes, now I can see. Thank
Okay,
you.
fantastic. Thank you. Okay. Yes, please unmute yourself. I don't always see the hands going up when we're busy in presentation mode. So please unmute yourself if something embarrassing like that happens again. So yes, we were in the calendar section, and we were looking at creating a new event. So we created one named Maths. We added our Maths channel to it, so it would appear in all their calendars. And we indicated dates and times. We indicated if it's a repeating occurrence. And then here we can indicate if it's a Teams meeting. So if it's a class, it's a Teams meeting. And then if we want to add a description. So if you navigate your eyes to the top again, we have send. Obviously, that means send this message. Discard if you want to delete it. And then we have a scheduling assistant. So very handy to see that you don't double book anybody, and also avoids the back and forth of this time doesn't suit me. But very nice for a classroom or a teaching environment where you've got students attending multiple classes, so that you can see if they are available in that time slot. And then the busy section where we've got how will this appear in the calendar? Will it show up that you're free on lunch, working elsewhere, or maybe it's a private event? Next to that one is also a really nice way to visually organize your calendar is you can indicate certain colors. So if you're managing many different classes or many different teams, you might make some of them blue, some of them green, or depending on the importance of the meeting, however you want to categorize it. It's just a nice colorful way to help you visualize your day or your week. And you can create your own categories, give them colors, and really just organize and structure your calendar in that way. Then the next section is response options. You can request responses. So if you want someone to accept it, you can allow or not allow forwarding. And for a class with a specific group of students, I would recommend that you don't allow the forwarding. Otherwise, they can forward it to someone else that's not part of that class. And then obviously you can hide the attendee list if you want to do that. Then the three little buttons will just give you some more options. You can add a OneNote. You can add your templates if you have any templates. That's not really a well-used feature, but it is there if you're interested. And then you can also hook in all of those nice add-ins into your calendar event. Okay, I'm not going to save this one now. It was just to demonstrate. So I'm going to discard the event. And then we are going to look at what is after calendar. There we've got the two little icons appearing again. Those are the people that are, or your contacts that are involved. From the contacts section, you can actually make new contacts. So you can add contacts here. Usually this is done within Teams, but you can, if you've got something that's not related really to Teams, an outside group that you're working with as an educator, you can obviously have a new group or a new contact list. It just makes it easier than typing out all the individual emails. So if you're working in a group together with your colleagues, often you can also use that. Then you have your contact lists, any deleted contacts would show up there. And then here you can also set up your folders. So you've got different folders. You have an inbox, but you can also have a contact folder. You can have multiple different folders according to how you want to have your information structured. Okay. Then just below that, we have the group section. So now remember, we discussed also in the previous sessions that some are only members, some are owners. So the owner groups that you are an owner of, classes that you have created via Teams. So you'll see there this is a maths class or a maths group. I'm the owner of that group. That's why I see it under owners. And then it gives me more information around that group specifically. So you'll see it's maths. It's a private group. There's currently only the one member in it. About section, it gives you some descriptions. You can edit from there. And then next to about, there's members. So here you can add members to your group. So if I want to add my son for demo purposes, it's a demo class. Oh dear, probably have to do it that way. But you can add members to the group from here. Okay, there we go. So let's just take all company, for example, and I can then go and add it to this group. Now, this is specifically to do with email. So a lot of these functions you will be generating from within Teams, but you can have separate groups if it does, if there is a requirement within your Outlook application. So next to members, there's obviously email, and there's files. So then all files attached to it. This is really nice. Instead of going through each individual email to that group, you can see all mails to that group. All the files will be grouped here for you to easily find. Okay. Then if you navigate back to the left-hand side, beneath owner, there's obviously the deleted section. And then there's again the directory, which you will recognize from earlier. You have got your global default global address list, your rooms, which is nice if you've got classrooms to manage, and all the other different directories that you have access to. Where you'll also see it looks very similar to Teams is that even with Outlook, and that's why I said in the beginning, eventually the other applications, the functionality is being pulled into Teams. So it's handy to know the other apps, but Teams will be your main go-to guide going forward, or your go-to app going forward. But you'll see the similarity here. If I look at the left-hand side bar, just beneath the groups icon, you will see there's a little file now, which will take you to all the files of this teacher. She doesn't have any right now, but here I'm able to see all of the files. That's the documents and everything. I can also then beneath the file section very easily access my to-do list, and we're going to do that next week. We're going to look really around using Microsoft Planner and the to-do list as reminders for ourselves, our students, for work to be done. And you can also assign work from here, from your Outlook directly, but we're going to look at that specific portion as part of Planner next week. So if I go back to my Outlook now, yep, here we go. Okay, go there. Okay, then we were at the to-do section, and then you'll see just your familiar applications, again, pinned to that, to your Outlook. These are things that you use a lot. So the apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote will be pinned there, similar to how your different tabs in Teams are pinned. Based on how much you use the functions. That is the similar way it is done in Outlook. Okay, what I am going to just quickly open the floor, and because this is really very high level session, because most people do know how to use Outlook and calendaring. I'm going to just open to the floor and ask, are there any specific scenarios or issues or questions that you'd like to know with regards to Outlook and the calendaring function of Microsoft? Are we all good? Okay.
Hi,
So
Vanessa. Sorry, I have one
Nice.
question.
Sure.
It's about searching your email in Outlook, because I find like
Yes.
now I've got emails from several years, but for some reason, when you type in to search for something, it doesn't, maybe I'm not doing it correctly. How do you say search for specific emails or search for specific people?
It's a big problem, I tell you, and that's why Microsoft has also changed it because people's mailboxes were becoming monsters. Their mailboxes spanned many years, and also to search that amount of content and to find the right keywords was becoming a nightmare for people. So that's why Microsoft has started moving a lot of the Outlook features into Teams, and because now what happens is you shared a document 3 years ago that you now want. Now you have to go and search 3 years worth, 10 years worth of mail to find that document, and you can't remember, was it a PDF or was it an Excel? So the search function is can be a bit painful, especially for us users who've been using it for many years. Um, what I can recommend you do, obviously, I'm not saying you're searching wrong, but if you do have the keywords right and you're still having problems finding mail in your Outlook, is that you look at if your organization has set up archiving for you. So what happens when they set up archiving for you, they move a section of your old mail into an archive. So it's still accessible, but you have to restore it from the archive. And then if the archive is not directly connected to your mail, you might not find it when searching. But I don't think there is a quick, easy answer to a proper search in Outlook. And that's why Microsoft has started moving things away. And if you use now, once you start really using the Office portal, you'll see that at the top here is a search function. And what makes this one really nice is when you type in keywords here, it will search not just your mail, but all your files that are in OneDrive. It will search absolutely the whole Microsoft ecosystem, which is really, and it's much faster than just working with a mailbox. So yeah, I know that's not really a good answer. And to answer your question, I don't think it's your inability to search correctly. It is a general problem with people who have lots of mail spanning lots of years with lots of content.
Okay, thank you for that. One other question, not necessarily related to this, but when you started, you shared a video. We're finding if we share videos with students, there's no sound. Is there?
Yes. Yes,
Could
there's
you
a very good.
possibly know why?
Yes, I do. I'm going to make you a screenshot because you will not be able to see this before I actually share the screen. So I'm going to make you a screenshot. Then I'm going to put that screenshot in Paint, just for the lack of putting it in a better place. It's a very popular problem, so don't feel bad. And we constantly have to remind
Okay.
people, did you click the include sound button? So when you click on
Okay.
share, right beneath, next to the share content, there is a little sentence that says include computer sound. If you don't click that, then it won't happen for you. So let me show you. Let
Okay.
me show you, because this is such a common problem.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna. Okay, so this I just copy pasted it. Oops. So when you click on share, just let me know when you can see. Can you see it? Sorry.
Yes, I saw you click on your arrow to share. Yes.
Yes, and then you see right at the bottom here, right below the share.
Ah,
Yes, you have to click on the include computer sound before you select which screen you want to share with the sound. So yeah, that is the trick behind it.
okay. Thank you. Thank
No
you.
problem. Common question. Okay. Anything else, or can we wrap up for today? Okay, I think then we're good. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining today. And we will do our last session as part of the school holidays period next week. but we are going to be, we are available if your institution, your organization, your educational or your school needs more training. We are happy to assist individually or in groups. So without further ado, thank you very much. Next week, we will be looking at planner, and I believe, let me just double check here. Next week is, bear with me on my slow internet. Next week is OneDrive. I think this is important for people who work with Moodle or other storage or learning systems. Important for people to know how to work with OneDrive and Planner for the tasks and the projects. So that we will be looking at next week. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely day and a lovely weekend, and we'll see you again next week.